so just landed in Dublin. I'm just going to meet Soph. Okay, so it's Monday morning. I'm in Dublin. Sophie's just gone to work for the day. I've got some emails that I need to do just for like sorting out teaching in the new year at some of the schools and that kind of thing. So I'm going to do that in a minute. Thinking of doing some kind of harmonic analysis of like some jazz standards or something. I haven't decided exactly what yet, but because I'm here for the whole week and I haven't got a guitar with me, I'm thinking of trying to find something that I can kind of work on over the whole week, like a little project kind of thing. So I'm going to have a think about that. I'm also going to have a mess around with some graphic design stuff for the band. We've sorted a logo and everything now, but I've got tons of free time, so I'm just going to have a play around on Photoshop. Okay, so I've decided I'm going to have a look at the jazz standard Misty. It's one of the very first jazz tunes that I ever looked at. I learnt it in my first year of university. I haven't looked at it at all since then, so it's been a few years. So I thought it'd be a cool one to revisit. So I've just got started, written out the chords in my notebook, some very crudely drawn chart there. But yeah, just starting off, making a note of the progressions, 2-5-1s, and then that kind of thing. So yeah, just getting started. Just having a go at some comic book style editing on Photoshop. Okay, so I'm just heading to the shop to buy some lunch and a notebook. Okay, so I'm just having a look at the A section of Misty. So obviously we start off with an E flat major 7, which is our 1 chord. And then we've got this B flat minor 7, E flat 7, A flat major 7, which gives us a 2-5-1 in the key of A flat major. So what we're doing is it's basically tonicizing that A flat major 7 chord. So if we just have a listen to that, you'll hear how it sounds as if the A flat major 7 is the new home chord. So yeah, cool. Simple stuff though, just basic 2-5-1s. So that's just label that in. So that's a 2-5-1 of 4. It's a 2-5-1 of the 4 chord of the home key. Cool. So then we're moving on to an A flat minor 7 and a D flat 7. So when I first looked at Misty a few years ago when I was at university, this bar always used to confuse me, because I could never figure out how it resolved, or like I couldn't put it into context. So we just have a listen to that. So obviously that sounds great, but yeah, at the time I couldn't figure out. So I'm going to go through it how I used to look at it. So we've got the A flat minor 7 and then the D flat 7. So my first thought was D flat 7. So that's going to be a secondary dominant. So that's going to be the 5 chord, and that's going to be the 2 chord of G flat major. So yeah, I used to look at that as a 2-5 in G flat major that just didn't resolve, because obviously the next chord is a E flat major 7. But now looking at it, a few years later, I realised that it's a backdoor 2-5 leading back to E flat major 7. So we've got our minor 4 chord, our flat 7 chord, which leads nicely back to E flat major 7. So yeah, there's that. That's cool. That works for me. But I also looked at it another way, which was to take this E flat major 7 and view it as a G minor 7. And the reason we can do that is G minor 7, because G minor 7 is obviously our 3rd chord diatonically in the key of E flat major. So it's a tonic chord, and it shares a lot of the same notes as E flat major 7. So I'll just write that out in case anyone that wants to see it written out as well. So G minor 7 is G, B flat, D, and F. So if we look at E flat major 7, E flat, G, B flat, and D. So as you can see there, 3rd, 5th and 7th notes of E flat major 7 line up with the 1st, 3rd and 5th notes of G minor 7. So that's why we can view this E flat major 7 chord as a G minor 7. So still though, if we come back to bar 4, that doesn't help us with this resolving this 2-5 in the key of G flat major, because it's obviously resolving still to a G minor 7. But this is where it gets cool, is because if we look at the chord of G flat major 7, I'll write it out underneath. So G flat major 7, we'll find that they actually share the same 3rd note and the same 7th note. So that's why this 2-5 up here resolves nicely to the G minor 7, or the E flat major 7. So that was just another way that I found of looking at it. So then that brings us on to the next part, which is an E flat major 7. So that's our 1. This bit's straightforward. C minor 7, 6, F minor 7, 2, B flat 7, 5. Straightforward stuff. 1, 6, 2, 5. The next part, we've got a G minor 7, which is our 3rd chord, as we've already mentioned. Then we've got this C7 chord. So yeah, so obviously that's a secondary dominant. It's a secondary dominant that's going to resolve to F minor 7. Because if we look here, we've got a G as well. So we've got a 2, 5, 1, minor 2, 5, 1, resolving to our F minor 7, which then is also our F minor 7 is also our 2, and then the B flat 7, 5, which resolves back to our E flat major 7 at the start of the A section. So yeah, cool. Lots of 2-5-1s as to be expected. But yeah, I'm really glad that I kind of got more of a grip on that 4th bar, that I got a better understanding of that than I used to have. So yeah, good stuff. It's looking pretty cool. Okay, so it's Wednesday night. Soph's just finished work, so I'm just walking into town and we're going to go get some dinner. We just got sent the final mix of Doing Fine, which is the track we were recording last week, and it sounds really, really good. So we're all really excited about that. Hoping to be able to get all the video edited over the next few days, but with it being so close to Christmas, it just depends how that's all going to work out. But yeah, we're all really excited for people to hear this, so we'll try and get it out soon. Exciting times. Right, so I'm having a look at the B section of Misty now. So to start off with, we've got a B flat minor 7, an E flat 7, and an A flat major 7, which we've already seen in the A section. So we know we got a 2, 5, 1. So that's a 2-5-1, a 4, 2-5-1, and A flat major. So we've got that modal interchange from the E flat Mixolydian scale there. There we go. Cool. So then, this is where it gets a bit more interesting. So we've got an A minor 7 here. So we're going from an A flat major 7 to an A minor 7. So I'm going to explain how this works, because again, when I was kind of looking at this when I was at university a few years ago, I used to think like, how does like moving from the A flat major 7 to the A minor 7 what's the kind of relationship there. So if we have a look at the notes in each of those chords, so I'll write down here, A flat major 7, so we got A flat, C, E flat, and G. And if we look at the A minor 7, we got A, C, E, and G. So again, what we can see there is we've got this thing where the third note and the seventh note of the chord are shared, and if we look, we've got the A flat moves up a semitone to A, and the E flat moves up a semitone to E. So that's how that transition works there between the A flat major 7 and the A minor 7. So we've then got, after that, we've got a D7 and an F7. So it's interesting to look at the melody for this bit. So the first half of the B section, if we look over here, the melody starts on this D flat note, and then when we change to the A minor 7 over here, so for the second half of the B section, the melody note moves up a semitone to a D note. What's interesting is instead of just moving the B flat minor 7 up a semitone to B minor 7, we go to this A minor 7, which makes the D note the 11th note of the A minor 7, which is a nice choice because it sounds a little bit more expressive. What we got as well, we got this A minor 7 to the D7 is implying a 2/5 movement. So if we label that in, so if we look at this D7, the second which place there's a 2 chord. So that implies a 2/5 moving towards G major. But obviously our next chord is an F7, which is the 5 of 5. So our 5 chord in the key of E flat major is obviously B flat 7. So our F7 chord there is like the 5 of 5. So moving from this this D7 to F7 is what's going to start bringing us back home to the key of E flat. Again, this is another bit that I used to kind of wonder how that works, moving from a D7 to an F7. So if we look at again those notes from each chord, I'll write it down here actually. So if we look at the D7, so D7, got D, F sharp, A, and C. And then if we look at our F7, we got F, A, C, and E flat. So if we look there, we can see we've got shared notes again, so the C and the A. And then we've also got the F sharp moves down a semitone to F. And then you can even add a D into the F7 as well as like a 13th. But I think actually, let me check. Yeah, so we've actually got in the melody there's a D there. So you could highlight that in the chord as well, which is the 13th note of the chord. So that's why that little movement there works so well. And then obviously our F7 is what's going to start bringing us home towards the key of E flat major. Yeah, so our F7 chord there is acting as a backdoor resolution leading into our G minor chord, our G minor 7 flat 5 there. Just trying to make sure I haven't missed anything out here. Yeah, so we're back into our 2 5s here. That we've already seen in the A section. So we've got a 2 5 there in the minor leading to here. We've got 2 5 1 into our F minor 7, and then obviously we've got this F minor 7 to 5 there with the B flat dominant 7, which will obviously lead us back then into the E flat major 7 for the A section. Okay, so I'm in Dublin city centre for the day today, and apparently there's a good guitar shop around here somewhere, so I'm just trying to find that. So I've just sat down to get a coffee, and I'm just having another look at the Misty stuff, but I've decided I'm not going to do any more of that in this video, just because the video is going to look super long. So what I'm going to do is I might do another video where I can go into more detail about all that stuff, or I might do like a write-up on it or something, because I wanted to go into more detail about the harmony and soloing over the changes, and reharmonization and that kind of thing. But yeah, so keep an eye out for another video, or I might put a link in the description to a write-up on it or something like that.